It's almost like I'm just romanticizing my life, but in reality, I'm progressively changing my life by living it differently than I have before. Hey my babies, welcome back to another video. It's your girl adorekristiana. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, as always, thank you for tuning in and sticking around. Today we are going to get into it. I'm so excited about this topic. We're gonna speak on what it takes to become the best version of yourself. And before we get into it, if you have not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, click the bell right beside it so that you will be notified every time I post a video. And if you want to see more of me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on my other socials. Your girl is always trying to grow on other platforms. If you are excited to get into this topic, smash that like button right now. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So as a little girl, I always imagined what my older self would be like. What would Adore be like as an adult? I would think about it down to the characteristics, the routine, the kind of people she hung around. And recently, as I'm making videos like this and talking to you guys in my vlogs about my personal journey, I'm noticing that I really am her. I am that woman that I used to dream about as a child, and it just felt like a full circle moment because I really have worked to get here and been intentional about the things that I've done to get here. I want to share with you guys some of the steps that I took in order to facilitate growth, change, transformation within myself so that I can set myself up to be prepared for the next version of me that is soon to come, because it don't stop here. Okay, it don't stop here. We are forever in a state of growth and evolution, and that is a wonderful thing about being human. So let me start with the first thing. If you want to become the best version of yourself, girl, it starts with wanting more for yourself. You have to want more. To even have that thought that you want more for yourself, you have to recognize your worth. The best way to be reminded of that is that being you is your biggest superpower. I know some of y'all have probably heard that before, but it's so true. There is nobody that is just like you in this entire world. So you need to hone in on that, take advantage of that fact, and use it to help you recognize that you are one of one. Especially in this digital era where everything is cyber-based, we're all on social media, you're gonna see a lot of fakeness, a lot of fraudulency. Once you remember that being you is the best thing you could show up as in life, that is going to be the first huge step into receiving everything that's meant for you and soon transforming into the best version of you. But once you recognize your worth, it's really time to start dreaming big. You deserve the world, and I mean in your hands. You deserve it. There is no reason anybody should be telling you that you don't. You need to dream big and reach for the stars. The sky is literally the limit. When you dream big and boldly, it sets the tone for the steps that it's going to take to actually achieve those things. But if you're dreaming really small, you're not going to be challenged enough or take the proper steps to really create a life for yourself that is actually worthy of you. Dreaming anything less than what you deserve, what your talents and your grace and your knowledge requires, is not gonna get you anywhere. Dream big and boldly. Have those real conversations with yourself so that you know whether you're having these desires because someone else has them. Maybe someone is talking you into going down a certain lane or to be a certain kind of person. Really evaluate that and be honest with yourself. Bring God into the conversation so he can let you know what is for you, who you're meant to be. Do not baby yourself. You really need to be your own coach in this and remind yourself, this is real. This is not a game. This is my life. This is my growth. Do not cheat yourself, and really dig deep and think about what you want for yourself. What does your personality, your talents, everything that you bring to the table, how are those things going to align with you and how they can bring out the best of you? So as you're deciding what you want your future to look like, I urge you to take an audit on your dreams. Because at the end of the day, your desires, your dreams, they should lead you to long-term fulfillment, not temporary joy. A lot of us are chasing something or want something really bad, and we're not realizing that maybe it's not the thing that we want necessarily, but it's that feeling that we are going to get from it. Whether it's security, community, attention, being seen, heard. What do I ultimately want to feel that's going to make me feel fulfilled? Really do an audit, and once you figure out the feeling that you're chasing, that you need to be full of to feel fulfilled, that's what you need to go after. Once you realize that, you can really revise what you want for your life instead of chasing something just because it might make you a quick buck or it might make you go viral for a day or a week. Really think about the long term and how it's going to serve you throughout this transformation. In the midst of a transformative period, change is going to happen, and therefore you need to be open to it. Be open to change. There's going to be a lot of things that you have to let go of, things you have to add. Essentially, you're going to have to act like someone you're not. Do not feel like you're a fraud. Do not feel like you're trying to show off or show out. You are simply going with the flow of change, and to be open to that is a big step in the transformative process. Let go of control and keep your mind on the prize, which is the best version of you. There's going to be moments where you're still stuck on your old ways or your old routine. You feel the need to overcompensate because you know that the new version of you wants to be doing this, but then you feel like you're letting down the old version of you because you're not doing this or that. But no, let go of that control and do not feel guilty. Once you let go and let God lead you down that path that you are essentially searching for, everything will come more simply because you won't be so rigid in your old ways that is hindering you from growth. There will be certain things that change inadvertently simply because you're making little changes in your life. This could become a stage of turmoil because, again, you might feel like a fraud to yourself, and you might feel like other people are judging you for not being who they used to know you as. But there are going to be sacrifices that are made as far as old routines, old people in your life that you may have to pull back from, or new people that you should accept into your life that maybe in the past you wouldn't have even given them a chance. This is when it's time to recognize that you're turning over a new leaf and letting these changes, these shifts happen. Even when it comes down to the way that you think and the way that you perceive life and perceive yourself, those things are going to change. If you're putting the work in and being intentional about it, the way that you think about things is going to change. So when you feel the shift happening and you feel yourself slowly shedding skin, be open to it. Don't run away from it. Don't hinder it. Let it happen. Don't backtrack because you're already beginning that motion. Everything happens for a reason. Don't ever feel like you're misstepping or you're not being true to yourself, because a big part of this process is being true to yourself. Right now, you're searching for your true self. You're literally shedding your old skin so that you can be molded into your true self. Don't ever feel like if somebody's mad because you acting brand new and they dip off, that's an issue. No, that's actually a pro in this situation, not a con. Everything is going to happen for a reason. Maybe you lost a job, you're forced to move. It could be anything that forces you to get out of your comfort zone. Lean into it because God sees you trying to shift. He's going to help you whether it feels good or not. He knows what you need to continue to move forward in this process. In moments of change, you really want to keep a receiving spirit about you. God is going to give you what you need. He's going to move things around in your life so that you can see more clearly. But if you don't have that receiving spirit about you, it's going to be really hard for you to recognize when things are moving around in your life for good. If you're being scared, closed off, unsure, doubtful, those kind of characteristics aren't going to help you to open up your mind and your heart to what God is trying to do in your life. So just remember to keep a receiving spirit and be open to change, challenges, experiences that are going to help you grow into a new person. People who encourage you and inspire you simply by living the lifestyle, having the mindset that you want, is a great way to keep you on track. And this era is so easy to get discouraged by other people's wins, by the blessings that God is giving to them. But in my opinion, they should be used as nothing but inspiration and a reminder that you can do that too. When I say have examples, it could be in your life, but nowadays we have so much access to social media. There's no excuse for not having a vision of what you want to be like later in life and what you want your life to be like. A big part of being open to change is knowing what you want to change and what you want that outcome to be. So keep in mind, do not feel discouraged or feel any less confident about yourself when you see someone doing something that you want to do or living the life that you want to live. Be mindful that that is nothing but a reminder that if that human can do it, you can do it too, because you are also human. There is no superpower about them other than they are one of one, just like you, and God is on their timeline and He is on yours as well. So stick to your timeline. Do not feel less than or incapable. There is no reason for that. You could do anything that you put your mind to if you are open to the thing that it's gonna take to get there. Once you start to get bits and pieces from other folks as far as what you want for yourself, it's time to start envisioning you. You need to start envisioning your higher self. Manifest her or him. The top way to manifest who you want to be is to write it down. Journaling is so magical. Writing down your thoughts, beliefs, desires for the present, for the future, it is so powerful. First step to manifesting her is to write it down. I personally journal to God and I make all my entries out to Him. Essentially, I'm writing out my prayers to Him. When you're talking to Him, you really want to be intentional about what it is you're asking for, because remember, you're in a transformative process, so it's not necessarily about asking for the outcome and then throwing up your hands. It's about asking God for the tools, for the mindset, for the heart posture that you're gonna need to get there. You need that constant building of character if you want to transform. One thing I recently started to do, every month or so I'll write down my prayer requests, what I'm asking God for, and I'll write down my answered prayers. This way I'm kind of keeping track of what I'm asking God for and what He is slowly checking off. This is a great way to evaluate your growth and evaluate what God is doing for you in a matter of time. Asking God for those credentials, lessons that you need, experiences, bringing people in or out of your life that's going to help you. That's the best way to begin envisioning your higher self. When doing so, be specific and be bold. Like I said, reach for the stars, dream big, request big to God, okay? And make sure you mean it. Don't just put it out there into the Holy Spirit's realm just to see if God gonna make it happen. No, you have to want it, and for the right reasons. You have to be mindful that your requests will only come into fruition if they please the Lord's will for you. But that's exactly why I encourage seeking God and striving to be more like Him every single day, because when you delight in the Lord, He will give you the desires of your heart. And the more aligned your desires are with His plan for your life, the more likely they will be answered. We really might want one thing and swear in our hearts so bad that it's meant for us and that we need this thing to happen in our life. But you gotta remember that our hearts are deceitful, and that's why we need to seek God and really hear Him out when He's letting us know this is what's good for you. This is what is conducive to the best outcome. Because I've been there. I'll start a whole project or a new hobby or something that I think is going to turn into a career, and then I find myself a month into it and the fire is not there, the passion is not there, and it's because I decided this is what I was going to do. I didn't wait on God to tell me this way, and there's nothing wrong with that. I always encourage you all to try things out. Life as a whole is trial and error. You really find your true passion within that trial and error. That's not to say that you shouldn't give things a try and be open to new things like I mentioned earlier, but at the end of the day, you just have to stay true to yourself. Remember to wait for assurance from the Lord before you go full throttle with something. The more aligned you are with the Lord, the more likely your desires will be granted. You've journaled, you've talked to God, you've envisioned and manifest this version of you. You now have this vision board, let's say, that you can refer to every time you make a new change or you add something to your life that's going to be beneficial. Now it's time to set those intentions to embody that person, to embody that version of you. To me, this is the fun part. It's almost like I'm acting, or like I'm just romanticizing my life, but in reality I'm progressively changing my life by living it differently than I have before. This goes for habits: waking up earlier, eating more healthily, being more frugal, avoiding bad energy, not feeding into it, and even spending more time with God. It could be anything that is positive, anything that is going to progressively help to mold you into a better version of you. This is when you start to cultivate good habits. Something clicked for me, and I realized that cultivating those good habits and following through with them builds so much confidence. I've built so much self-confidence solely based on upholding promises that I've made to myself. You want to be able to rely on yourself. Building up that self-confidence and that trust with yourself is so important in progressively transforming. Use your downtime as an opportunity to better yourself, okay? Because I remember them days where I wasn't doing nothing in my downtime but taking naps or watching movies, and it's like, okay, how about I read a book? How about I step out and go to the gym? I wasn't giving myself an opportunity to really see who I could be. Anything that makes you feel better about yourself, anything that makes you physically be better, put those things on your priority list as your first step to embodying who you want to be. Once you set those things into place, it's time to start following through. Don't set these intentions and then go to the gym once a week when you said you would go 3. Don't say you would eat more healthily and then start biting into that donut that you purchased at Dunkin' Donuts. Girl, you shouldn't have bought it. Follow through with your intentions. This is going to help build so much trust with yourself. You're going to be so proud. Do the things that you promised yourself you would do, and that goes for things that you even promised yourself you wouldn't do. Plan something new for yourself, just a new experience, something that the higher version of you would do. Plan it, follow through with it, and see how you react. It'll really help you not only grow, but it'll help you learn about yourself as far as how you react to the situation, or learning about something that you like or don't like that you maybe didn't even realize before. It's really all about stepping into that higher version of you and living like them, even though you're not necessarily there yet. You said you were going to stop talking to that person. You said you wasn't going to, remember? Oh, okay, yeah. It goes both ways, but just keep those promises. The more you backtrack, the longer it's going to take for you to recognize who you really are. We're trying to crack the shell here. When you think about how your higher self loves on you, start doing it now. That means giving yourself compliments, taking yourself out, spoiling yourself, okay? All within reason. It doesn't mean it has to be something super spectacular. It just means spend time with yourself and remind yourself that you don't need anybody but you. Date yourself. Doing things that you love alone, things that fill you up and genuinely make you happy. Filling your own cup will ultimately help you gain a new appreciation for who you and for your own company. Because to be real, solitude is a big part of this progressive transformation. If you're around people constantly and absorbing other people's energy and perspectives, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to make the shifts that are necessary. So taking that alone time, doing it in a way that makes you happy and appreciative of your own company is very important. As much as we're working toward the best version of ourselves, it is crucial to remember who you are now. But while you're appreciating you, remember that you're still walking in the best version of you, because we are embodying that person. Keeping yourself happy in the midst of it and reminding yourself, I'm worth it. It goes a long way, because things are going to get a little hard. There's going to be days where you're not as motivated, but remembering that you deserve the best is going to keep you going. So love on yourself, girl. Whether you're out at a coffee shop, or you take yourself to the movies, or you give yourself a spa day at home, you cuddled up with your favorite drink and a book, just take in that time. Keep on walking and what your future self would do. What time do they wake up? How do they walk into a room? Are they confident, or are they fumbling and twiddling their thumbs? Are they financially literate, or are they still spending frivolously? How's their boundaries? Are they stern, or are they non-existent? Keep these things in mind. Check yourself constantly. This is not necessarily easy, so you need to keep these things in mind, because like I mentioned, this is an intentional process. It's time to seek Jesus to sustain you, to sustain these new shifts that you're making, and to lead you in them as far as what more you need to be doing. I find that the best way to do that is to familiarize myself with the Bible, more specifically with Jesus Christ and his characteristics, and the way that he thinks, the way that he acts, how he presents himself to others. Because once you can recognize the Jesus in you, it is such a confirmation that you're walking in the right direction. It's a great way to confirm whether you're living and thinking in a way that pleases the Lord. And ultimately, he got the blueprint. So if I'm following anybody, it's gonna be him. Once you get to know him, and I mean really know him, it's easier to hear his messages that he's giving to you as far as what you need to shift in your life, because you know how he speaks. You know his tone of voice. You know his beliefs and the promises that he's made to you. The more you familiarize yourself with him, the easier it's going to be to hear him and be obedient to the things that he's telling you. If it's one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna always incorporate the Lord in every step of my life. So yes, this is a major key to embodying the best version of yourself and ultimately becoming her or him. And this is why I mentioned the importance of having trust in yourself, because once you trust yourself, you can trust that you'll follow through with what he tells you to do. When you uphold promises that you have made to yourself, there's no reason why you are not obeying and trusting his instructions to you, especially when he always keeps his promises to you. Because if anything, he has a leg up on you and what's meant for you in your life. It's so important just to be aligned with him and to recognize when he's showing up in your life. So you recognize that you want more for yourself, you're open to change, you're envisioning your higher self and realizing what it's going to take to become that person. You set your intentions to embody that person, and you've included Jesus in your life to sustain all of those things. Now it's time to keep sight of the objective. Remember what your purpose is. Why are you trying to change? What is that going to do for you and ultimately the world and the way that you perceive it and stand in it? Don't lose sight of your calling. No one feels the urge to change for the better for no reason. It comes with feeling like you have something to offer to the world. This is why it's so good to journal. You can always go back to those prayer requests, those answered prayers, and any thoughts that you have written down that tie to your growth. Once you've been real with yourself and you remember exactly what you're in it for and what these day-to-day challenges and changes you're making is all about, it will keep you going. There are going to be days where there's a huge lack of motivation. Maybe you're rethinking the whole thing and you just rather go back to your old ways and the old crew that you hung with, the old way that you used to talk and how you used to ignore God's calling for you. But when you remember your why and you put God at the head of your life, it's going to sustain you. During those tough days, it should be your purpose that fuels you. That's why it's so important for it to be embedded in your heart and for it to be true to you, because something that is not a passion of yours, something that you have not been called to do, is not going to get you up. It's not going to get you embodying the person that is at the end of this process. It's all about the emotion it brings you, the potential impact that your calling, your purpose can make, and the way it allows you to use your gifts to share your offering to the world. Sometimes you have to stop being selfish about your desires. God put us all here and made us all different so that we can collaborate. We're here to exchange with one another. If you want it for the wrong reasons, all the wrong things are going to come with it. But when you are walking in the right direction and choosing to do the hard things that it takes to get to the end of God's will for your life, that's really what it's about. A good way to remain aware of the bigger picture for your life is to surround yourself with positivity, whether it's the people in your life or the people that you're following on social media. Get rid of negativity. Get rid of anything that is fraudulent, anything that is depleting you of the confidence and the inspiration, motivation that you need to mature and make good choices for yourself. Add things and people to your life that are uplifting and a constant reminder that you're worthy and you're capable. The Lord himself can always help you to keep sight of your purpose, strengthen your faith in him. With him at the head of your life, anything is possible, even your wildest dreams. Having him lead your life just makes for such an anointed outcome. Nothing good comes easily, but with God, he gives you strength. He gives you wisdom. He's the ultimate partner in your life. A business partner, a therapist, a best friend. Any way you want to think about it, he is there for you. He will lead you toward the light of the path that he has for you as you're discovering your purpose. So wait on him. Remember who you are serving. His timing is divine, as he is the most powerful and the all-knowing God, and he will always work things out for your good. With all of that being said, I want to leave you off with a prayer. This one comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17. Lord Jesus Christ, thank you for the new spiritual life that you offer to everyone that comes to you. Let your Holy Spirit transform us from within so that we can become the new creation you promise. Amen. All right, my babies, that completes all that I have for how to become the best version of you, baby. I hope that these points help you take actionable steps toward your higher self. Thank you for your time and your energy. I'm forever grateful for every single one of you. If you did enjoy this video and want to see more just like it, smash that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell right beside it so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And with that, my friends, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.